we've been covering Netflix earnings call now for a year and a half. So we've done about 5 or 6 of them. And every one of these earnings calls, almost somebody asks a question about theatrical. There has been more pressure again lately because Amazon Studios came out and committed to 12 to 16 theatrical slate next year, 2026. It's happening. Now, they're not all going to be giant $200 million blockbusters, right? Some of them are just going to be like, we did a rom-com or we did a horror movie or something like that.
Right.
They may put a couple of big suckers out there in the summer. I have to go look at this. I don't even know what they are yet. But they're getting the questions come up for Netflix. Hey, guys, what about this? Well, Netflix, again, they were the distributor into theaters for this film. This was distributed. Sony didn't do it because it's not a Sony movie anymore. They sold it. They sold it for a $25 million profit up front. Now, they have a $3 billion deal with Netflix. So, they're getting a lot of money from Netflix. Now, a lot of that money includes cost of production. Yeah, exactly. But the point is that, Netflix can do it. And there's going to be more pressure coming. And I even did it. I did a bit the other week on a previous live show where I said, the problem is that we talked about Weapons. Weapons has a very interesting story. Most people don't know that Weapons was offered a lot more money by Netflix. And Krieger told him no. And he told him, he said, I'm going with the lower deal from Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers is promising me theatrical. The problem with Netflix is, 3 or 4 years ago, this idea that they could get away with everything, like we'll just go out and we'll hand people cash money, give them an instant profit. They don't have to think about it. That was really easy in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 because theaters were dead. There was a lot of nervousness about spending $50 or $100 million to market a film into there and then having it die. And when Netflix was sitting there going, oh, it cost you $100 million, I'll give you $120 and it's ours. Walk away. That's the more and more of these, especially the smaller creators and the real top talent. I think we're turning that corner now where if Netflix wants to continue to be able to attract them, they're going to have to give them some deference to theatrical. Because I think we're at a point now where theatrical has proven, barring things like, a giant IP like Super Mario Brothers or Minecraft or stuff like this, where everybody knows it. But, you're going to go out and spend $40 million on a brand new piece of IP like Weapons. It's like, hey, no, I'll take my chances in theaters because we know the horror audience shows up, number one. And number two, I want to be in theaters. I'm glad to see that coming back. And my point is, I think we're going to see a lot more pressure in the next few years put on Netflix. Clearly not for everything they do, but for, if they want to get the 4
maybe
or 5,
their top 10 movies of the year.
6. Yeah.
So maybe top 6. Yeah. Because,
not? They can advertise like they do now. They can advertise everything on Netflix just like they do now. They don't have to spend money on TV advertisements. They don't spend a lot of money on social media.
Is it just the exclusivity? Is it Netflix is saying you want to watch it? It's on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, you can't watch this movie.
That's it.
Even if that's all it is. And so it's like kind of forcing people to just, hey, I got to have Netflix. I want to watch whatever the movie happens to be. What's the one that's coming out? Is it Narnia?
Oh, Narnia. Yeah. That's the one. And I didn't even know they were doing that. That's the one. And that was probably, again, that was a little pressure, I'm sure, from Greta Gerwig. It's like, hey, you want to get me to do this? I want theatrical. Now we can talk about whether we like Greta Gerwig or not. That's fine. But that's a different conversation. But she's getting, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how. It may be a very limited release, is my point, Derek. Netflix could have agreed to let, to do a distribution into New York and Los Angeles at 4 theaters for 13 days. And it's, whatever, all the minimum they need to get Oscar capable or awards capable. Right? Somebody like Greta Gerwig, who's worked on what she has, she's going to want to at least be eligible to get awards for the work. Right? Because that's her bread and butter for her. So Netflix is going to have to kowtow to that and give her the bare minimum, which is not much. I mean, I don't think you're going to walk into your theater in Springfield, Illinois, and see Narnia in there. I don't think it's going wide. I could be wrong. I have to go.
I feel like they need to make that concession. Theaters need big movies. They need those types of movies. And Netflix is, if they're paying the amount of money that they're paying to get those major directors, talent. I mean, we were talking about what if they had released Happy Gilmore too? What if that hit the theaters? You really need some of these theaters are desperately needing a lot of these movies to hit theaters. And Netflix is, in their business model, I get it. That's the kind of model that they have, but they're destroying not destroying the theaters, but they're hurting, the movie going experience, not to mention that a lot of these movies end up they got to stop pushing these movies so fast to VOD. Yep. If they can keep these movies in theaters for a limited window of at least 60 days, before they go into theaters, that to me, that's the big problem, because otherwise Netflix doesn't have any, okay, we're just going to sit right where we are. Eventually these, movies theaters are just going to dry up.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.